Whenever the press talks about Detroit, it's usually bad news, but we've got what looks like pretty spectacular news about the Motor City. Something is going on with the school system there that is really remarkable. Look at these numbers. In 2007, the high school dropout rate in Detroit was about 30%. In just 4 years, look where it's come down to. That's 19% at the bottom right there. That is a huge difference, a big resurgence. And former hoopster Jalen Rose is part of the reason. He has spent years working to improve education in Detroit, just opened a brand new charter high school there. He says improving education is vital for our economy because the key to a good job is getting a good education. Welcome ex-NBA star, TV analyst, and the founder of the Jalen Rose Leadership Academy, Jalen Rose. Great to see you, Jalen.
Thank you very much
for coming in. Appreciate it. So why this huge success? What have you guys been doing right?
I'm very proud of those numbers.
You should be.
The Jalen Rose Charitable Fund have been influencing young men and young women, 40 of them, via scholarship the last 10 years. I have an endowment also at my alma mater, the University of Michigan. So really opening up the Jalen Rose Leadership Academy is a graduation of that mission, trying to do what we can to influence Detroit area youth to get a diploma, get a degree, and have a career. So those numbers make me feel
okay,
good.
well, the number of people who've been through the scholarship is pretty small. I mean, you just have a couple of dozen or 3 dozen or so. But the fact is that the entire school system is benefiting from something. What is it that you focus on, that you think Detroit's school system is focusing on, that's leading to a lower dropout rate, dramatically lower dropout rate?
At our school, we want to up the ante. Longer school days, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m.
Wow.
Tutoring from 4:30 to 5:30. Also, 211-day school year, up from 176.
Whoa.
Including 6 Saturdays. We have to up the ante.
How do you get the teachers to do that? That's a lot more work for the teachers.
Yes, you have to up the ante. We're living in a global economy that's dominated by technology and an influx. So therefore, if they're not prepared to compete, they just ball up your resume and throw it in the garbage.
But you know, a lot of teachers, part of the National Federation of Teachers or National Education. So I used to be a teacher, so I know this. I know that those union officials would scream bloody murder if you tried to increase their hours in most public schools. How do you get away with doing it in your charter school?
Yeah, it's called a charter school. And a charter school for me is the hybrid of a private school education versus a public school education. I went to public school, yet my daughters, they go to private school. So really, the charter school is a hybrid of the two. You can implement the things that you feel like work curriculum-wise, socially and economically for your school, and eliminate faster the things that don't work.
Basically, what they do is they say, as long as you fit these requirements, getting this kind of educational standard tests out of the students and so forth, you can do it. You can take the money. But what about the idea of the voucher system, where you would give individuals, particularly poor individuals, a choice? Give them a choice. We have the choice. We are lucky enough to have enough money so we can choose whether to put our kids in public or private school. My kid went to a parochial school. What about giving people a voucher from their taxes that would allow them to take their money where they want it?
There should absolutely be parental choice in our country. How do you feel as a parent when you show up every morning, drop your kid off at a school that you know is a low-performing school in a bad district? You should have the choice to take your student, your child, to another district. That's what people do in our country when they get money, for example. You grow up in an urban area. When you get an opportunity to move to the suburbs, people do it. So also those that can live in a good school district, they do that for public education and for private education. But however, the playing field should be level for public education.
It's our money that goes into taxes. It should be our choice as well, right?
Absolutely.
But the teachers union are dead set against it.
That's why we created a charter school model. We have 20 to 1 all day, 10 to 1 in math and English.
Wow.
So the administrators can't hide, the students can't hide, and the parents and the families can't hide. And they've shown a commitment because our school day and year is longer.
I can't tell you how wonderful this stuff is, but is it catching on? Is what you're doing catching on? Obviously, Detroit is having some success. Is it directly because of what you're doing?
We hope so. And our plan is to go scale. Once we take care of business with our class of 2015, that is absolutely the goal for the Jalen Rose Leadership Academy, to take our model to be scaled. Because we have a lot of students that perform real well GPA-wise, but low ACT-wise. And you know that's another subject for another day.
Where do I sign me up? I'll quit this job and go work for you. This sounds like great stuff. Jalen Rose, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful stuff. Come back and let us know how it's going, all right?
I will do.